As we see the misery of Syria continuing from events in Aleppo, there must be a ceasefire and immediate stopping of the bombing and shelling, causing such atrocities on such innocent people. Aid should be got to those who need it, preferably under UN auspices, and refugees should be able to come to Britain and other European countries if they wish. This is the way that people should be fighting in defence of those people. We should argue that they should be let in, not left to die in the seas and left alone. And they should be welcomed in all other European countries if they wish, in order to help rebuild their shattered lives. There should be an attempt to a political solution to end the war. These are all steps which would go towards alleviating immediate suffering. Further intervention in this war-torn country will only make things worse, which is why all the outside intervention should stop. The fact is, it doesn't matter whose bomb is falling on those people, it is killing innocent people. That is not the solution. And unfortunately, we have MPs who have supported past interventions are bemoaning the fact that more British bombs weren't directed at Syria in 2013. The truth is that our government has contributed to the wreckage that is so much part of the Middle East today, and continue to do so with interventions across the region, including Iraq and Syria, and backing for Saudi bombing of Yemen. It is time to end all interventions in the Middle East and stop supplying arms. We're spending so many millions of pounds on arms when we should be defending the rights of people to come to this country and building homes for them and safe homes, and actually having a political solution. Bombing is no solution. It doesn't matter whose bombs are being dropped on those innocent people. It does not stop it. And I'm very proud to be part of the Stop the War movement that for the last 15-20 years has stood by the people in the Middle East. We've had marches. I was part of the 2 million march, and we had 60 coaches plus more people going down, of people from the Syrian community, the Yemen community, the Pakistan community, and I'm really proud to have been part of that. And we all stand in solidarity. We won't agree on everything, but what we do have to agree on is we be united in supporting the everyday people that are the victims of all these imperialist powers trying to intervene in the Middle East. So we come in solidarity, and we hope that people will look out for Stop the War activities, because if we think this is the only, I know somebody was saying that this is small, or that this is one small thing to do, but actually it's a massive thing. It is an absolutely massive thing, because it is showing a generation, a new generation of people, that we can come together united and stand and fight against all the atrocities, and start to argue that we shouldn't be spending money on bombs, we should be spending it on health and education, whether you're in England or in Yemen or in Syria or in Iraq. That's what the people all around the world will be fighting for, and should stand together in solidarity. So I do come in solidarity, and I hope people will come to the committee meetings that we hold around Sheffield Stop the War, and we can start to build a really strong coalition, because this is not the end, this is the continuum of what is the atrocities that are going on, and innocent people are dying. And if you think this doesn't have an effect, actually, when you think about it, people have phones, people have the media. Think about the people in Yemen that see everyday people in Sheffield standing together. That's what gives them hope. That's what gives them solidarity. When we stood against the Iraq war and the illegal bombing of Baghdad, people from those areas were on their phones saying, this is giving us hope. We know that people will support us, and it is really important. So never ever think you're alone. Join the Sheffield Stop the War Coalition. Let's get everybody together and start to organise for 2017 and against all wars and all imperialist states.
Hello, yes, my name is Maher. With all respect, everybody would like all wars to actually stop. But in some cases, if you do not intervene, atrocities will go on and on and on. We've seen this in Bosnia, we've seen this in Kosovo. If it not was for NATO, all Bosnian women would have been raped. All young men would have been killed. In Syria, if no one intervenes to stop the Assad regime, so much people will be killed. Criminal regimes like the Assad regime, we should not entertain them. We do not let them get away with mass murder. I, as a Syrian from Aleppo, I call for the international community, hopefully the United Nations and the Security Council, to actually authorize intervention to stop the Assad regime. Because if they don't, thank you. In the case of Yemen, no one likes to see any bombings and then collateral damage for the civilians. But let's not forget that the case in the war in Yemen, if it was for Iran, there would have been no war in Yemen. There was an elected government in Yemen, with the Houthis have actually toppled and took Sana'a by force. So the main issue in Yemen is not really, I am against any intervention in principle, but the people who started the Yemen war are actually Iranian-backed Houthis. We should not forget that. And Iran is the same killing and is part of the killing in Syria. Iran has got so much aspirations in the region, spanning from Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, now Yemen. Tomorrow will be the whole Gulf. And if no one stops them, God knows what else they will do. We talk about suicide bombings. They actually started by the Iranians and pro-Iranians, Hezbollah in Lebanon. We talk about terrorism and ISIS. It's all a product of the Assad regime. When the Americans were in Iraq, who was sending the Al-Qaeda fighters across the border? They were all going from Syria to go into Iraq. They were trained by the Syrian security forces. Al-Qaeda used to actually have camps run by the Assad regime in Syria to send them into Iraq and then do mayhem there. And they were the main reason for a sectarian war in that country, because they were sent there to actually bomb some Shiite shrines, etc. And then they will get reaction from Iran and the Shiites. Eventually, Iraq was handed on a golden plate to Iran, and now it has Syria. Hopefully not. We still hope we will defeat them eventually. And they've got definitely Lebanon with the Hezbollah there, and they will be having Yemen if they get their way with the Houthis, etc., etc. It's time for the world to actually have a stand against evil. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Hassan. So, that's me. I'm not Syrian, just a normal student. I thought that, first of all, thank everyone for coming. When we created the Facebook event, we didn't know how many people would turn up, given that it was only 2 days' notice. But thank you very much for turning up. It does really show that people care and that people are wanting to be aware about the situation, what's happening right now in Aleppo. I'm going to have my hands up. I'm not the person to talk about what's happening in Syria in depth. I don't know that much. But what I do know is that you never liberate a city by dropping bombs on innocent civilians. That's not liberation at all. I want to say also there's a lot of students here. And there's an important thing that I want students to know, because I am now an outgoing student myself and a member of NUS, is that sometimes you look around, and we're looking around now, there's a lot of people for what it is, but there's not as many people as we'd like. And a quote comes to mind: never doubt that a small group of committed people like ourselves can change the world, because indeed it's the only thing that ever has. And I want you all to remember that when you go home today. I also want you to remember this: every single one of you have the potential to get this message out there more than anything else. Every single one of you can educate yourselves about what's happening in Syria, educate others around you about what's happening in Syria, and also, in general, as students, you go into your universities, no matter what you study. Universities are beacons of knowledge, beacons of ideas, and also platforms for you to push your ideas out. And the student movement has time and time again changed the world. We were the movement what stopped this country from joining the Vietnam War. We were the movement what made this country intervene in the Balkan crisis. So I say this: if you want to shape the world, shape it. Otherwise, you will be shaped by the world itself. And so, again, thank you very much for coming. And I hope that you do get involved in other actions what will take place in the city and beyond, in solidarity with the people of Syria and the solidarity with people who are suffering in the conflict all over the world. And let us all pray for the people of Aleppo, and God save them from what may come. Thank you.
Can I just quickly say, if you want to find out about more, because we will coordinate up these things, please go on the Sheffield Stop the War Facebook page, because we advertise things like this and let people know when we've got events like this.